Field reports from the strange. This is Obscura Bureau.
Okay, I suddenly received a question in my inbox. And that question is, hey, lately I won't quote it verbatim. Basically, I've been stressed and easily irritated lately. Asking me how to control my anger. TCH. TCH. I don't know. This is the most honest answer. Because, according to my own experience, things just naturally happen that way. Let me share a bit more in detail. Well, I'm quite hot-tempered. Quite. How should I put it? My personality is quite competitive. There's a competitive nature there. Meaning I want to surpass others. I want to become number one. After a long time, reflecting to understand why, it's because, first, I'm an only child. Everyone thinks I'm the youngest. And second, I have a cousin the same age. That's why my personality is like this. I'm always being compared. Always being pushed into a corner. And if brought up to be discussed, to be considered, then I'll be compared. Otherwise, I'll be left aside and not valued. And that is quite a frustrating experience. So, I had to mature, or rather grow up. Grow up with the thought that I must become someone. I must achieve something. I must obtain something. Then people would acknowledge me. The reason every child is like that. And back then, whatever my cousin did, I did the same. He played sports, I played sports too. He played, I played. He studied, I studied. After such a long time, this trait has seeped into a person, and it becomes a part of the personality that one always tries to become number one. Good at this, good at that. And this pressure deeply permeates the basic calculations in civil life, like when I do something with someone, I also want to do more. When I work with a community, I always want to bring the most value. And, until now, it's still very hard to fix that. But competitiveness, it always exists. From childhood until now, very hard. So what does competitiveness have to do with being hot-tempered or controlling anger? Then you must understand, when I don't achieve that number one position, I cannot place myself in such a high position. When I cannot surpass my own expectations, then as I have shared before, that is anger coming from helplessness. T achieve, I don. T beat, I can. Then I feel ashamed. And at that moment, I only feel helpless and angry. And in the process of working, I build and try to develop. I also encounter that emotion. And it's very hard to overcome that emotion. After about 5. From high school to university. Then started working. Taking on extra jobs. Meeting more friends. Then I learned a new concept. It's called humility. I realized that the best person is not the one with degrees. Strange, isn't it? Truly capable people, they don't place too much importance on degrees, or they don't care much about things where the vague implications lie. When I meet those brothers, those sisters, those who are called belonging to the upper class, the way they talk is always giving. I always want to be number one. When competing, I have to surpass others. How could I let others suppress me? And you know what? When talking with them, I realize that what they have in life, things I've never experienced, that is companionship. I'm the youngest, I was pushed to the corner, and when comparing, I always feel I've never had a teammate or a support resource for myself. As poverty, that. Only then did I realize successful people like these, they all have a resource, some kind of teammate, some kind of support accompanying them. So, their eating like this is so that those they meet and talk with, those people are going with them. So, their eating like this is so that those they meet and talk with, those people also receive strength from them. special experiences, certain developments. And if everyone develops together, then their opportunities increase, their strength grows bigger. Meaning when I give, what I receive is a teammate. Potential. I have the ability to turn them into teammates. And if you always feel lonely, all alone, then try giving and build a relationship with someone, and I will start having teammates. The first teammates. They will help you overcome many challenges. They might not accompany me forever. They might only accompany me for a short period of time. But these people will make me realize that this society is more refined, I think. And truly, many times I fight precisely for these people, not for anything else. Then, when I realize that, I see that I don't need to fight at all. Don't need to fight at all. Rather, I don't need to fight with others. My competitiveness gradually wears away, and I shift to competing with myself in the mirror, the ordinary person. From there, I begin to form another personality, which is self-hatred. Now I no longer hate myself, but rather am strict with myself. Because being strict is loving, and the way to love oneself is to be strict with oneself, to be responsible. That seems most correct. After I overcome the phase where I tree the shock, I come to the moment when I learn to build and make peace with myself and build for myself. Competition with myself. It hasn't truly healed yet. It hasn't truly stabilized for quite a long time. When I see I haven't achieved the set goals, so it feels like I'm constantly disappointed in myself. I'm like, what I compete with is yesterday, the day before yesterday, and the things I've been through. And today I try to get past yesterday, right? I try to go further, and I look back. After 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, a year later, I see myself still stuck. Frustrating, isn't it? Very frustrating. Still making excuses. So, there's one thing I realized here, that I can't push myself too hard. That was when I started going to plant trees, and reading books. A bit self-help oriented. Before that I only read stories. I started with novels and guidebooks. Then began this phase. The 2017, 2018, I think so. Reading self-help. There was one initial book that was quite good. That was Think and Grow Rich. Initially quite good. I think I shared about it in a video about self. The beginning part was quite good. Then it started getting a bit nonsense. Still using the universe's energy. The 12th field carries away. Before that there was a part 1 found. It spoke quite accurately about people, about how we perceive this society and our true selves. Self-suggestion. The main theme of that book is self-suggestion. It's when you think too much about something you start to, but the book says that you have to think about it, be obsessed by it, then life will give it to you. And I'm like, what? As if I'm thinking about 10 billion. I'll immediately have 10 billion. I feel that I'm obsessed by such excessive striving. That doesn't allow myself freedom and ease. Not allowing oneself to make mistakes. Not allowing oneself to grow. The only way to truly grow is to make mistakes, to learn from those mistakes, to learn from difficulties, rather than always forcing oneself within a certain framework and just going with it, trying hard to push forward until hitting a solid, concrete wall. Therefore, one needs to let go of it. Must allow oneself to be wrong. Must allow oneself to have certain mistakes, certain obstacles. That weakness, that biggest weakness, is not allowing oneself to be wrong. Because being wrong is not the biggest weakness. Making mistakes is natural. And when accepting that humans will sometimes be right, sometimes wrong, the way of interacting with others will be complete. If they unintentionally make a mistake, they don't know, then as an opportunity for them to learn, we shouldn't take away their opportunity. Let them make mistakes. and then talk so immature. Just like ourselves. We're not always right. When seeing someone making a mistake, can remind you in advance, hey, this might be wrong. Saying in advance, going this way is but the choice is yours. How you do it is up to you. And if they're wrong, then I say, okay, wrong, learn from the mistake. This is like this. Now understand, right? Just no do it. That's how I treat people around me. And especially my employees. Much more relaxed. I'm no longer frustrated. But the issue here, the frustration comes from them. Not listening, knowing it's wrong. Still stubbornly going ahead like. It's not that they look down on me. But when applying it, knowledge of others. As for me, I will minimize damage for the collective. But if we keep rushing headlong into it, if the collective is harmed then, well, that time has passed. But what needs attention here is, everyone needs to make mistakes. Everyone has times when they need to be wrong, and I have to create a space, a certain tolerance, for that wrong part. It's not wrong to the point of bankruptcy, not wrong to the point of getting pregnant, but wrong in the way of going to work. There are days coming to the company late, or times of sickness for example. Worry is wrong for the shortcomings we don't. That's the wrong part that we don't. What about intentionally being wrong? Knowing it's wrong but still doing it to rush. I don't turn my face toward negative things like that. If you intentionally make mistakes, I will say that. If you intentionally make mistakes to oppose, then I will intentionally make mistakes. If you intentionally make mistakes to oppose, that's best I done. And if you intentionally make mistakes to kind of prove something to yourself, then I think you're a bit stupid. After all, nobody wants to be wrong like you. So share experiences, in a second, but if you intentionally do it again, well, that's it. We learn to let go. That's arrogant, it. For no reason. Level, or for some reason. If something sounds reasonable then, let it go, because we cannot raise others, that's their own responsibility. Therefore, treat those around you. I have a lesson about sharing. Let me have less so I can have closer people around me. And next is, for everyone, including myself, the opportunity to develop, to mature. Because if you're always right, it's very difficult. Okay, is there anything else? When going online, to learn how to control anger. There are often very silly things, like meditation, for example, or learning that kind of breathing technique. Then I think this. Meditation doesn't help much. Telling someone hot-tempered to meditate is very difficult. But when I start to get annoyed, I will ask a question. This is what I learned. When starting to get annoyed, uncomfortable, is it worth it? Set this aside for now. For example, in relationships with brothers and friends, who am I annoyed with, and why do you annoy? Does it solve the problem? There. Instead of focusing on the current emotion, look at the problem at hand. It's not there, the problem is there. So what solves the problem? Men and boys can easily recognize that problem, like, this is the problem, you and I have a problem, then let's solve the problem. That's it, no need to be too tense about it. With women, it requires tact. And this is what makes many men can't stand it. Because no matter how hard you try, you can't. Partly you have to be gentle. The other part is you have to solve the problem. Both solving the problem and being gentle, how can you stand it? So then, this is what both men and women need to learn quickly. For men, sometimes, stepping out of the story can be the best approach. Cannot provide a solution. At that point, the most reasonable thing is and walk away. To resolve later, but for women, sometimes silence is also a very good thing. I know you ladies, sisters, mothers have many things you want to, but if that doesn't solve the problem, then all that we're saying to each other. What should we do? To hurt each other? We haven't even finished loving each other. Why try to hurt each other? Often, you sisters, daughters, say things that are truly unacceptable. Being someone who doesn't do that, but still try to say. Later on, it's like. Upon reflection, you realize you spoke words that cannot be taken back. Therefore, this is easier to remind, so I remind words. As for reminders, honestly, many brothers, best not to say anything at all. Our words are also toxic, no less than women's. However, we have the ability to act if we don't speak, right? Then if speaking doesn't work, so then, try to focus on the problem, to solve it rather than winning or trying to outdo others. That's childish, not good at all. We're adults already. Why outdo others? Especially with family members. Why compete with family members? What do we gain here? I argue with her, I win this argument. Then I'll get to hold 10 billion. Then I'd argue all day. I'd argue from the moment I open my eyes until I close them. Every day I hold 200 billion. That's how to teach like that. But clearly, arguing gets us nowhere. Arguing gets us nothing at all. And to solve the problem, it's not about solving the problem. At that time, it was very clear. The logic is coherent, right? You and I also want interaction. And we have steps like these. The plan is A, B, C, X, Y, Z. Step A is here, step B is here. You do this, I do that, done. That doesn't require arguing. But if arguing is just to insult each other, and be harsh with each other, affecting each other's, hurt each other, then is it worth it? This argument. And if the answer is no, not worth it, this relationship is not worth, then step out of the relationship. That's it. No one is right or wrong here, it's simply that you yourself feel this relationship is not worth it. Stand up, walk away, that's it. No need to try to do anything. The way of dealing with people is that important. We must treat ourselves and treat the other person how to be reasonable. Treating ourselves that in that situation, we might get scolded. In that situation, we might get hurt. Think about it. How we treat the person we love. Your girlfriend is there. Do you want your girlfriend to get hurt? No. Then conversely, about ourselves. If we love ourselves, do we want to get hurt? Then the way for both not to get hurt is to stand up and walk away. Right? Say nothing more. Stop. Be quiet for a while, and for a while, cool down a bit. Handle it later, that's it. So, if we have reached adulthood, and anger is still raging inside us, you should thoroughly understand what your childhood wounds look like and why you had them. Thoughts like that. And in every situation, try to pause for a second, ask if it's worth it, then figure it out later. Try to focus on solving the problem. But now if you ask, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? I don't know. Suddenly ask. I can't answer. Only you know what kind of person you are. You should look in the mirror and question yourself. Examine what kind of person you are. You know yourself best from childhood to adult. What you have, what you lack, how you think, what your social relationships are like, what your boyfriend, girlfriend is like. And if you ask me to answer for you now, I can't. You can do it, but it's too difficult. That's exactly what I often talk to people about. Controlling anger. What about controlling other people's anger? That's difficult. It's easy to control myself. But what about others? Honestly, I don't really believe in the concept of controlling much. People can only manipulate them, but controlling them is difficult. Really difficult. If someone is fuming with anger, and I get up and walk away, they continue being angry, then what? See, as I just said, they're angry, cursing, arguing. I'm fuming with anger, suddenly get up and they're getting furious. Then they use that as an excuse. Walking away from this conversation, okay, then. Explain. I have the right to speak. It's not me. That's not that I don't respect this relationship. Continuing to talk wouldn't be good. Before there are more words that could cause hurt, for one or both people. They're talking like adults. Solving problems like adults. But if they still keep bickering, okay, then that person isn't mature enough to be able to solve problems. Then we also don't necessarily have to solve. If we really need that person in our life, if we really need this person in our life, we want to keep them, we find it worthwhile, then we have to try to sacrifice. Because we are the mature one. And being mature is knowing how to accept. But now telling me I change others, I don't believe in that. You find it hard to change yourself already, right? Let alone change others? And if they don't actively want to change, have the mindset that and I need to be right then. It's very. But for me, I think harmony is precious. Start with I had to feel stable first. Then I can manage. I myself cannot force my own stability. In this conversation or in this society, I am nobody. I'm just one person among them. And they're the main character in their life. Just as I am the main character in my life, I don't have enough influence. I'm not that important. The person with the greatest influence in someone's life is simply their parents. But to be honest, even teach can. There. So sometimes we have to sacrifice three. We truly wake up. First is emotions. Second is family, and third is health. Losing one of the three or losing all three, we have just come to realize. Losing affection. The deepest love may have been lost, was losing family. A home that no longer exists, we learn to cherish what we have. Losing health. Unable to do anything anymore. Even breathing hurts. Only then do we know how valuable life is. But the lifestyle of today's youth often tries to discard all three of those to prove that they're special, build differences, and to avoid regret, to know of your life from now until then is still quite long. In summary, I think that what we need to recognize in this world is always to control our emotions first, know ourselves first, then know others. Know yourself, know your enemy. Then you can win 100 battles. Control anger. Please understand and love yourself first, then engrave it there. Peace. Please subscribe to the Guia and I Go channel.
If the report helped, subscribe and open the next case.